meeting to discuss the war in Ukraine. And in sport, Manchester United have completed the signing of Benjamin Sesko in a move worth £73.7 million. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Halfway Tree St. Andrew is now a beehive of preparation of activities as there is heightened expectation that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness will announce the date tomorrow from that location for the next general election. Sections of a stage have already been erected in a part of the square. Traffic is also being diverted to facilitate work by various crews for the highly anticipated event. The JLP mass rally is expected to get underway at 4 o'clock. Jamaicans are expected to go to the polls in September. Meanwhile, the JLP's Central Executive concluded its meeting at the party's Belmont Road headquarters in New Kingston earlier this afternoon. Marlon Morgan is a member of the party's communication task force.
The party gave a charge to the Central Executive, particularly our CT3 candidate designate. And as I said, a press release is coming shortly.
Marlon Morgan, member of the JLP communication task force. Opposition spokesperson on education, Senator Damon Crawford, is describing the capacity of the country's special needs testing facilities as unacceptable.
We must ensure that there's ample testing so that we can diagnose the issue early and start early intervention. That doesn't exist at this point because we only have 2 testing centers, and that is as recent as 2 years ago. We only had 1 testing center. It has led to a waiting period of up to 4 years, which is 1/3 of the period of time that they're likely to be in school. And so the person to be tested in 1 grade often don't achieve testing until they're in 5th grade. And then they only have another 7 years of school. And so that is an unacceptable situation.
He says the PMP has a plan to rectify the situation.
We therefore intend to expand testing to our 7 regions and hopefully eventually to our 14 parishes. And the 7 regions, to achieve that goal, firstly is to incorporate some of our partners as international partners, because some of the skill sets for testing are not here in the abundance necessary to utilize. We have had conversations with some international ambassadors about extending some of their expertise, but then to give scholarships to locals so that we can build out that expertise and engage in that testing. The second thing is to expand the shadows.
Senator Damon Crawford, opposition spokesperson on education. Member of Parliament for West Portland Darl Vaz has expressed confidence that he will retain his seat in the constituency in the next general election. Vaz made the assertion at the opening ceremony of the Buff Bay Market in Portland on Friday.
I have been your Member of Parliament since 2007. I have won 4 elections and 1 by-election. And the good thing is that no one has ever come back to get a second beating. So the 5 elections that I have run is 5 different opposition candidates. So this Vaz is unbreakable. Let me just tell you that plain and straight. And I expect that in the coming weeks, when a certain event is announced, we are going to deal with them just like how we dealt with them the last 5 times.
In the September 2007 general election, Vaz went up against the PNP's Abe Dabdoob. He was forced into a by-election in March 2009 after it was revealed that he was a US citizen. Vaz prevailed against the PNP's Kenneth Rowe in that contest. The 5-term MP also declared that the JLP will also secure a victory in the neighboring constituency East Portland. His wife, Anne-Marie Vaz, became the Member of Parliament for the constituency in the April 2019 by-election.
I can stand here and say confidently that action and seat will be declared before my seat. So the both seats in Portland will come home to the Jamaica Labour Party. All I say to you is take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. We are going to do what we have done the last 5 times. And remember, at the end of the day, tell your friend, tell your neighbor, tell your church sister, tell your rumbar partner, choose Jamaica.
Darl Vaz, Member of Parliament for West Portland. Portland residents will now be able to benefit from a newly refurbished market in Buff Bay. The market, which is valued at over $50 million, was officially opened on Friday. The opening ceremony was attended by local government minister Desmond McKenzie, MP for West Portland Darrell Vaz, council for the Buff Bay division Dion Hunter, and Port Antonio Mayor Paul Thompson, among others. Minister McKenzie says additional works on the market is estimated to bring the total value to more than $70 million.
What we have now is not a renovated market, it's a brand new market built from the ground up. So there is nothing old that has been painted over. You have a new market. The $55 million that have been spent, we're going to be spending some more because additional shops for haberdashery business will be constructed at the rear of the market, and those works will commence shortly because the additional funds of the $11 million I think that was requested have been signed off and will be made available. So we're looking at close to $70 million.
The minister says vendors in the market will be able to conduct their business without paying fees for the next 5 months. He adds that vendors will also receive security and electricity benefits.
This will be the first market built by local government that will have CC cameras in the market. We are going to be installing cameras in the market as a part of the security feature of the market. Also, we are going to be looking to use energy saving mechanisms as a means of reducing price of electricity. JPS has a new system, and Minister Vaz knows about it, that you want electricity, you can buy credit. So if you want $1,000 worth of light for the week, the market is equipped that once you have used that amount of electricity, we will be able to control it.
Desmond McKenzie, local government minister. Prominent clergyman Reverend Al Miller says the launch of the Jamaica First Movement JFM intends to heal decades of political division. According to Reverend Miller, the movement is a new political party advocating for a one-term government of national unity.
We are not talking about for perpetuity. It's only for 5 years to be able to relay the foundations to heal the divisions that have destroyed us and to set some new paradigms going forward. So it is easily doable where there is a heart and a commitment to the principle of unity. We all know, united we stand, divided we fall. So when we commit to unity, we find a way.
A week ago, Reverend Miller issued a statement citing that a written invitation was given to the country's main political parties to unite for a 5-year term, but he says this was met with unwillingness. The JFM knows that it aims to target the approximately 70% of the electorate who are disengaged from the current political process. Reverend Miller says while there are suitable representatives who are ready to take on the challenge, Reverend Miller says there are suitable representatives ready to take on the challenge.
We have a number of candidates that we believe are prepared to serve. But the principle that we are still calling for is one. We have stated that we would certainly open it on that principle if there are any members of the existing political parties who will put Jamaica first above party to take a leave of absence from their present parties to serve the country in the higher office of unity for 5 years. We are equally calling for other persons from business, from church, from civil society who have the ability and the call to create an opportunity for others to engage.
Reverend Al Miller, prominent clergyman. The state-owned oil refinery Petrojam has significantly increased its asphalt production capacity, commissioning new facilities to process heavy fuel oil, HFO, into bitumen for both local and regional markets. Since July, production has surged from 84,000 barrels annually to a projected 230,000 barrels. The positions of Petrojam to earn an additional $2.4 million or $380 million per year. Well, this has positioned Petrojam to earn an additional $2.4 million and $380 million per year. The upgrade was conceptualized, designed, and managed entirely by the company's in-house teams, showcasing Petrojam's ability to execute complex capital projects with local expertise. The increased output comes amid growing demand from major public and private infrastructure projects, including road construction, airport runway resurfacing, and large-scale development initiatives such as the Spark and Reach projects. A bauxite train has derailed in St. Catherine. The incident has resulted in a traffic halt through the Bogwalk Gorge. It's understood that the train belongs to a bauxite mining company. There have been no reports of casualties. And now to news on the international scene. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and U.K. Foreign Secretary David Lammy have hosted a meeting of security office officials near London to discuss the war in Ukraine. The talks are said to have been called at the request of the U.S. The pair were joined by Ukrainian officials and European national security advisors, with Lammy saying the UK's support for Ukraine remains ironclad as we continue to work towards a just and lasting peace resolution. It comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stressed he will make no territorial concessions to Russia ahead of a summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska next week. And now to sport. Manchester United have completed the signing of striker Benjamin Sesko in a move worth £73.7 million. The deal with the Slovenian international, who has joined on a 5-year contract, includes a guaranteed payment of £66.3 million, with the remainder in adds-on. He is United's third major signing in attack. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. Preparations now underway in Halfway Tree St. Andrew to stage a JLP mass rally where general election date is expected to be announced. Opposition spokesperson on education Senator Damon Crawford describes the country's special needs testing facilities as unacceptable. Portland residents set to benefit from a newly refurbished market in Buff Bay. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store, which is next at 5 tomorrow afternoon. Good afternoon.
Is accurate? Are they calibrated? Even small errors can lead to big problems. That's why Jamaicans trust the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. From food to fuel, health to hardware, our metrology and testing division provides